morning, family. It's good to be with you this morning. Thank you for allowing me to be with you. Yes, yes. Gonna take a big breath and let the music wash over you. Sing along if you like, because we love to sing together. Amen. All together, sing a song. All together, everyone belongs. All together, a family. We're all together. Amen. All together, sing a song. All together, everyone belongs. All together, a family. We're all together. All together, sing a song. All together, everyone belongs. All together, a family. We're all together. All together. All together. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am, God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. So we just slow our heart rate down just a titch. Yeah. Welcome once again to our prelude segment. Right here, right now. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am, God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, I am opening, I am opening. Morning, Jimmy. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening. For years I would talk about how I wanted to change the world, but I always left it up for someone else to do. Then I finally realized I needed to take a stand, and that by changing my thinking I could change my life. That's how I could change the world. I want you to sing along now. Let there be peace, I am a stand for peace. Let there be love, I am a stand for love. Let there be joy, I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace, I am a stand for peace. Let there be love, I am a stand for love. Let there be joy, I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace, yeah, I am a stand for peace. Let there be love, I am a stand for love. Let there be joy, sing out, I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace, I am a stand for peace. Let there be love, I am a stand for love. Let there be joy, I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. Thank you, everyone.
Ooh, wow. Good morning. Okay, that's a little bit better. It is a rainy day out here today, so we're going to have to get a little bit rowdy in here so we can kind of enliven and wake us up a little bit. All right, so let's try saying good morning once again. All right. It woke me up a little bit, so thank you. Welcome, everyone. My name is Tony Jenkins. My pronouns are he and him, and I am a practitioner that proudly serves here at Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. We are a center that educates and engages the seeker on their spiritual path. As a member of the global movement, Centers for Spiritual Living, our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and our vision is... Okay, now we can do a little bit better than that. Come on now. Our vision is... A world that works for everyone. All right now, that's much, much better. No matter where you are on your spiritual journey, SLCA is where you belong. For more information about today's service and ways to connect during the week, please take a moment to scan our QR code found either on the back of the seat in front of you or the one that's displayed on the monitor. We are so grateful for your presence this morning.
Indeed, we are. Yes, you feel like singing? Yes, you do. Come on now. There is a space in my heart where I can find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. When we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself, or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See with new eyes, allow an unfold embrace. Let go, trust, love, flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we can ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Yes, give yourselves a round of applause.
All right, all right. Good morning, SLCA. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to everybody watching online on Facebook and YouTube as well, which might be a few more people today given the time change, the weather, and all those circumstances. So for those of you who are in the room, God bless you. You know, you trust your phone. You know your phone has got it, right? You're not going to wake up late. How many people had to double check against the stove this morning? I finally stopped doing that a couple years ago. I was like, you know what? This smartphone actually really is smart. I can trust it to do its job. We're grateful that you're here today. Welcome into this space. We're continuing our series on authenticity, cultivating authenticity, and it's going to be a great day together. I want to point out that we have, once again, in the lobby today, I'm going to give a little update. So let me do that now. Pull that out. Okay. We have a QR code for Georgia Equality in the lobby, and Reverend Linda and Gabrielle will be there. Last week, we asked those of you who were called to do so to scan the code and send a message to your state senator about the anti-trans legislation. That legislation on Monday, we were there advocating all day, and they delayed it, pushed it out, and we thought, well, they're not gonna hear it. They're gonna let it kind of drop to the floor, and many of us went home. I think some folks were still there advocating late into the night, and at about 10:30 at night, they decided to take it up, and they did pass it. So Senate Bill 140 did pass, and that means now it goes to the House, and so the process continues. And so if you weren't here or you didn't participate or you want to participate, the QR code now goes to Georgia Equality so that you can sign up and just get alerted for the updates that will happen from here on out, what the next step of the process is. And I'll talk more in the message about that and what's happening around the country as well. Today, as we cultivate authenticity, we are looking at the masks that we wear and how to take those off and let our true light shine. And so our affirmation today is, today I see the purpose that resides in me. I have the courage to be vulnerable and let my light shine. I'll say it each line at a time and ask you to repeat, and then we'll do it all together. Let's take a deep breath. Today, I see the purpose that resides in me. I have the courage to be vulnerable and to let my light shine. Take a deep breath. Now let's say it all together. Today, I see the purpose that resides in me. I have the courage to be vulnerable and to let my light shine. And so it is. And so we are. Give each other a hand for being here today. Let's have a great day together.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed again. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Amen.
And now we turn inward as we prepare for affirmative prayer. Affirmative prayer is where we state and declare the truth, knowing that it is already done. And so I would love if you can just get comfortable in your seats and focus in on your breathing. And know with me, this is what I know. I know there is only one presence, one power, one source, one intelligence in the universe, and that intelligence is a part of me. It's a part of me in every cell, every fiber, every inch of my being. For it is not outside of me, but always with me. This presence is with me in the morning. It is with me in the afternoon. And it is with me as I lay my head down to prepare to get up once again. It is near to me as my breath, and is always comforting. And it is this presence that I invoke, relax into, and embody in this moment. It is so wonderful to be here today on this rainy day, knowing that the flowers are going to be given its moisture and the crops are going to be prosperous, and that this is a perfect day for all that comes in the future. Though the sun may not be shining, what I know is the sun is still present. Just as even though you may be in the midst of an issue, the presence of the one, the power, the source is always there, waiting, anticipating for you to reach out and ask. Ask for whatever is needed. I'm so grateful for this knowledge, for this ability to tap into something that is so much greater than I am. I am so grateful to be a part of a movement that recognizes and is presenting this to so many people on the globe. I am so grateful that no matter what appears, whether it is a cloudy day or a sunny day, I know that all is well and all is good, because the presence, the power, the source, the intelligence is right here within me, always, always there. I anchor this prayer by saying that I understand the law has no choice but to act upon these words. And if you're in agreement with me, let's say together, and so it is.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. Through me. Good morning, Terry
Good
Burrell.
morning, Penelope Williams.
Yes, it's nice to have you. Please
Good
welcome
morning.
Terry Burrell. She's tithing her talents this morning. We're so honored to have you here.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so good to be with you again.
Thank you. Same here. Always. Listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Some may have more cash than you. Others take a different view. My, oh my, yeah, yeah. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Time asks no questions, it goes on without you, leaving you behind if you can't stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, can't stop it if you try to. The best part of danger is staring it in the face. Remember, listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Got to be bold. Got to be bad. Got to be wise. Don't ever say it's got to be hard. Hey, not too hard. All I know is love will save the day. Yeah.
Yes. Love will save the day. Terry Burrell. Let's give her some love. Good morning. I'm David Alexander. If I didn't say that before, my pronouns are he and his, and I am delighted to be here today to continue this series on cultivating authenticity. You know, transformation and authenticity is one of the things that we talk about a lot in New Thought. It's a very common theme, right? Transforming or transitioning from the self that we think that we are into the self that Spirit intends for us to be, or the God self that resides within us. That theme and that thread runs through just about every message that you could give on any topic, right? Prosperity, health and well-being, cultivating great relationships, just becoming yourself. Over and over again, you could always weave in this idea of what it is to unfold and to shift from one way of thinking to another, right? We use the butterfly metaphor a lot, right? The worm to the chrysalis to the butterfly thing. Like I've just like so many conventions that I've been to and seen keynote speakers from Gene Houston to a brand new minister to just everybody in between. At least once in their life, probably multiple times, uses that metaphor, right? And it'll preach, you know. It's a good metaphor, right? And it's all about transformation and becoming who and what we are. And so we started last week with cultivating authenticity. We looked at some of the things that, some of the ways that we can do that. I'll review that in a moment. But as I begin today, and as I mentioned before, we have the QR code in the lobby for Georgia Equality to talk about what's happening here in Georgia, but also around the country as we have people tuning in from various places. I want to dedicate today's message that is about taking down those masks and becoming our true selves. I want to dedicate it to our trans community. Because there is something happening right now. Well, what you'll hear is that the message hasn't changed, that the principles are the principles. But I want, particularly for the family members and individuals in the trans community and those that love them, to hear this message today. I want to ask you, if you know somebody, to tag them on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Help spread that message, because I'm dedicating this particular sermon to them and to all of us who are holding space for what is happening right now. I said something last week. I was talking about them trying to outlaw drag in Tennessee, which I still find humorous. But I said, that's going to be one, really kind of wild a pride parade next year in Chattanooga or in Memphis. And I said that because I know that the courage and the enthusiasm and the desire in the LGBT community sometimes to flaunt, right, with enthusiasm in the face of ridiculousness, right, directly in the face of that which would oppose them, right. And so I said it from that space, but it was brought to my attention that there are, in fact, people in the drag community in Chattanooga in particular who are being threatened right now. That people are showing up at the venues that do drag shows. They're showing up outside with their trucks and their flags and guns and creating an imposing, threatening presence. And so there's a real threat. So I don't want anything I ever say in jest and even in support to minimize the threat that's currently happening right now. So I want to presence that, because you might not have been aware of it, as I was not. I was aware of the bills and the legislation, but not the ways in which some people have chosen to create an unsafe and unwelcoming environment. And so with all of that out there, there's, as I said, there's a lot of danger. There's a lot of troubling things that are happening through legislation. I'm talking a lot more about it online and Facebook and in my blog on Medium than I will here, but I want you to have access to that. But I want to say that we are committed to broadcasting love, to broadcasting inclusion and wholeness, and creating a safe space for all of us. Can we be in agreement about that today? Amen. And so authenticity, I forgot to do that. Pause, reverse that, take a breath. I forgot the opening that I created to do every week, right, to get us ready. I just, the music was so good, I just jumped right into the message. All right, take a deep breath. We need this today with the hour. See, I'm already showing the effects of the hour. I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm available. I'm available. I'm enough. I'm enough. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here we go. All right. See how that wakes you up? Opens all the channels and centers in our being. So, where was I? Authenticity. Yeah, right, I got to start all over again. I'm glad I have slides that remind me what I'm doing. We said this last week, Brene Brown, authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. This is from the Gifts of Imperfection. Authenticity, the daily practice, letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. And so I shared with you last week that there are sort of three pillars that I was promoting to doing that, right? Cultivating awareness is the first step, right? Just a daily awareness. Who am I really? Who am I really? Just asking that question over and over. Like, who am I really in this moment? This is what the world is asking of me. This is what the situation is asking me to be, or how it's asking me to show up. But who am I really? It's a question that no matter how many times you answer it, you'll have to answer it again, right, for the rest of your life. It's a spiritual awakening question. Who am I really? And then cultivating compassion for any space in which there is distance between what that answer might be of who we are authentically, who our inner spirit, inner voice, inner presence knows that we are, and any aspect of us that perhaps is not fully showing up that way, right? we're showing up in a way that is meeting other people's expectations, or ways in which we've been trained or cultivated, or simply are used to patterns and ways of being that perhaps diminish us or hold us back in some way. So cultivating compassion for that distance, and then cultivating courage to bridge that gap, to find the vulnerability and the power to step out and to step in to our authentic self. So cultivating awareness, cultivating compassion, cultivating courage. And they really fit the theme today as well, because we're going to talk about the masks that we wear, the way in which we hide ourselves from time to time, and what to do about them. And the what to do about them really is these three things: to cultivate awareness, to cultivate compassion, and to cultivate courage. As human beings, we wear masks at different times for different reasons. We wear masks perhaps for fun during holidays and parties, right? Whether it's Halloween or Mardi Gras or some other festival event or time. Masks are worn in the theater and in the arts. During the pandemic, we had to wear masks for safety and for health and well-being, not only for ourselves, but for our neighbor, right? There are times and situations where the wearing of a mask changes or hides who we are, and protects, and also times in which it protects us, protects our heart, protects our emotions, or, as we said with the pandemic, may even protect us physically for a period of time. But here's the thing: anytime that we are hiding what we think and feel from others because we want to be accepted, because we want to belong, because we want to keep our light from really being seen, right? It's similar to, and there's a scripture that talks about, right, not hiding the candle under the bushel, right? It's similar to doing that rather than putting it out where it's supposed to be. And so while this activity sometimes keeps us safe, it also becomes a problem when we do it so often that it becomes our identity, becomes our experience, and it keeps us from being connected to who and what we really are. So I want to begin with the question today of, where, when, and why do we wear masks? Do we do it to fit in, to belong? Right? Do we do it for protection? Do we do it to meet other people's expectations of us? Do we do it to accept a role? And the answer to this question might be all of those things at different times, right? Sometimes we wear them for protection. It's not safe to be our authentic self or to be our real self. Sometimes we wear it to meet the expectations of others or to accept a role, right? The question of cultivating awareness of who you are will show you, if you do that over and over and over again. I remember years ago in a teen camp experiences, we had this exercise that we used to do, and we used to get up in partners, and we would sit in chairs close enough for our knees to touch each other, and we would look at each other. They'd lower the lights, they'd play nice meditative music, and the job, you do A and B's, right? And so the job was for the A to ask the person B, "Who are you? Tell me who you are." And person B would respond with whatever came to your mind. "I'm David." Right? And it was just a one sentence answer, so not a rambling, like a whole bunch of things, just one sentence answer. And then person A would say, "Thank you. Tell me who you are." And whatever else popped up in your mind, "Thank you. Tell me who you are." We did this over and over and over again. It went on what seemed like forever, right? Which was the point of the exercise. So it gets to the point where you have moved past all of the labels, you've moved past all of the outward expressions, you've moved past all of the surface identities, right? The roles that you play, the ways that you show up, to finally get into, first, to get to that place where it's like, I don't know. I don't have another answer. And to just sit in that. And to be able to say to the other person, I'm not sure. Thank you. Tell me who you are. Oh, it would be so annoying, that person A. But then you got to flip and do it to the other person, right? But the whole point of that exercise is to recognize that there are roles that we accept, that we say yes to in life, right? I've said yes to being a father. I said yes to being a stepfather. I said yes to being a partner. I said yes to being a minister. Those are all roles. They're not who I really am, but they're places where the authenticity of who I am gets to express in a particular way, right? And so it's important to identify that we say yes to playing certain roles in life, sometimes for a season, sometimes for a lifetime, sometimes for a shorter period of time. So we do these things to fit in, to belong, to protect ourselves, to hide, to meet other people's expectations. But when we have the courage to be vulnerable, to drop our masks and let our light to be seen and to be felt, then another piece of authenticity begins to shine, right? It's the nature of life to fully express itself. It's the nature of this thing that we call life to fully express itself, and every living being has this impulse within it to allow this life force, this life expression, this creative urge, as Ernest Holmes called it, to express through it and as it. When I was in practitioner training, learning how to do affirmative prayer, I developed sort of a routine, a way of getting myself into the space and into the consciousness. And it was about repeating those lines of Ernest Holmes, that there's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Begin with that and then say, and there's this one life, and the desire of that one life is to express itself, and then I would invite myself to add as much as I possibly could to that sentence, right? It's the desire of this life to express itself as boldly, as beautifully, as creatively, as passionately, as wonderfully, as magnificently, as abundantly, right? As creatively as it possibly can through all life. And that includes you. And that includes me. And that includes this moment. That's this thing called life. That's this nature that stirs within us, this natural impulse that awakes itself from winter and reaches out to express itself in new growth on the trees and in the ground. And we realized that that which appeared to be dead wasn't really dead. It was actually very much alive on the inside, preparing for its next expression, right? And that's inside of us because it's inside of everything. And simultaneously, right, there is an instinct to protect that which seems vulnerable. The cells of our being, literally the makeup of who we are, our cells really have two functions, and they're kind of different sides of the same coin. And the one function is to express itself, to move towards optimal health and well-being, to multiply and to create a homeostasis of health and well-being in our body temple. And the job of every cell of our body is to do that all the time. The only time it doesn't do that is when it feels threatened. When there's a threat in the environment, then it turns from its natural state of moving towards health and well-being to a different role, and that is to protect. Right? So it create, more T cells or more this or more that, or, clotting if we have a cut and we got to, instead of flowing in this way, now we got to create more of this so that to thicken things up and block that, right? Or whatever it is that the function is. But it's either moving towards more life, more love, more beauty, more wholeness, more homeostasis of life and well-being, or to protect. And the moment that the job of protection is done, then it moves back to its original state. Right? So this is literally how we are made up. So yes, there's a life within us that wants to express. Yes, there's a life that is the authenticity of our being. And it's also very natural to want to protect ourselves when we feel vulnerable, when we feel unsafe, when we feel not seen, when we feel threatened in some way, right? And so we all wear masks at one time or another for various reasons. We wear them to cover up the true ourselves. We wear them to cover up our feelings. We wear them sometimes to be strong. I'm the one who has to be strong in this moment. Everybody else can fall apart, but I need to be strong. Anybody had that one going on? Oh, just me, right? Well, thank God I'm the one that's being strong in this moment, right? or to protect those that we love. While on the inside, we want to tell people what's really going on for us, but we fear rejection or lack of acceptance or whatever it is. So having the courage to embrace our vulnerability and allow our light to shine is the way in which we sort of live out loud, if it were, you know. And so I want us to reach a little bit deeper, because when we wear masks, we keep a part of ourselves hidden that deserves to shine, right? When we wear masks, we hide a part of ourselves that deserves to shine. And so, yes, there's a role for protection, but that role is temporary, only so that we can build up enough courage to step into authenticity, right? And so what mask are we wearing to our family, to our friends, to our business partners? Are we showing up in things like, I'm confident, I'm fine, I'm in charge, everything's good? Are those authentic statements, or are they part of the mask, right? Again, cultivate awareness, cultivate compassion, and cultivate courage. The first piece is awareness, compassion for any distance. Oh, I can see now that when I'm doing that, I'm really not showing up as my authentic self. I'm really wearing a mask because I don't think that my partner or my spouse or my boss or my colleagues or what can handle whatever, can deal with the true me, or they need me to be like this, right? My children need me to show up this way. You see how all those conversations are going on? And all we have to do is just bring awareness to it, and then bring compassion, and eventually the courage to step out and to show up in a different way. The problem with masks is that when they become the norm, when we do them so often, that we then attach identity and we say, this is who I am. I always show up this way, right? That's just who I am. I protect. I'm a mother bear. I'm a father bear. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm a whatever. Right? We have all these labels. But the truth is you are spirit, and you are none of those things. All of those things are just ways that you show up. I want you to hear that, because that's an incredibly liberating statement that I just said. You probably have identity about how you show up, right? Or identity attachment. Oh, that's just the way I am. If I were to ask somebody else to describe you, oh, that's just the way he is. That's just the way she is. That's just the way they are, right? They always show up this way. But that always is a role that you've accepted, or a mask that you've accepted over and over and over again, to the point that you become attached to it in your identity. But the real you is actually beyond that. And here's the freeing thing about being liberated in that kind of way, is that when you're truly liberated, you can still show up that way whenever it suits you. See, liberated doesn't mean that, oh, forget that, now I'm never going to show up that way again. It's actually quite the opposite, right? When you're let me phrase it like this. When you're liberated from the need to show up a particular way, then you can show up the way that you need. Woo! You better write that down, right? It works like this. When you're liberated from the oppressive thought that I better do this because, right? So some people, go to the gym and the whole time that they're driving themselves to the gym, they're beating themselves up about why they need to be there. I have to do this because, and if I don't, but if you're liberated, then you can show up and be in that space with freedom. It doesn't mean you don't go to the gym anymore. It just means you can now show up and just say, I choose this because it works for me. I choose this because it moves me towards my goals. I choose this because it helps me reveal what it is that I want to reveal. You following what I'm saying? And so there is something, Ernest Holmes says, there is something which awaits only our recognition to spring into being, bringing with it all the power in the universe. There is something which waits only our recognition to spring into being, bringing with it all the power in the universe. It's the real you. It's the authentic you. It's the self that is beyond condition. It's beyond labels. It's beyond your training. It's beyond what your parents told you. It's beyond what the world told you. It's the real you. And it waits just for your recognition, for you to turn to it, to say, I see you. I make room for you. I make room for my authentic self. I see the purpose that resides in me. See, within that affirmation, there's the recognition that you have a purpose. There's a reason for your existence. God put you here. The universe put you here on purpose, in purpose, and with purpose. You are an intentional act of the creative intelligence of the universe. And the light that we have is light that is to be revealed, not concealed. Right? Light is always intended to be revealed, not concealed. It's exhausting to be what you're not. Right? Woo! Come on, somebody. This is why the support for our trans community is so important. It's exhausting being what you're not, what the world has forced you or conditioned you to believe. Right? I was moved to so much emotion watching as we did Advocacy Day for this legislation on Monday last week. Reverend Linda and I were there. And, you know, all of our job was to write the notes. And if you've ever done this before about any issue, and you can, as a citizen of the state of Georgia, you can see something that either the Senate or the House is debating, and you want to get your opinion known. Of course, you can call, you can write an email, but you can also go down there and talk to your elected officials. And it's a rather sort of 19th century way that they still do it, right? With little slips of paper that you have to fill out, and the pages run in and send them. And then if the elected official chooses to, they can come out what they call on the ropes. It's a hallway that's in front of the entrance to either the House or the Senate chamber, and there's a rope there, and you got to be on this side of the rope, and they're on that side of the rope, so they call it on the ropes. You can get them on the ropes. And they come out and they'll talk to you, whether that's for 30 seconds or for a few minutes or whatever the case may be. So we all took our turns doing that, and there was a group. There was ourselves, there was a big group for Georgia Equality, there were parents of transgender youth there, there were transgender youth themselves there, there were medical professionals. All of them were taking their turns, and it was really quite a large group of us representing different constituents. And I became really moved watching, in particular, the trans youth themselves, sharing their story and saying, this is why this is important to me. And the legislation that you're talking about would not allow me, I want you to hear this, the legislation that you're about to pass would not allow me to be me. I would not be able to be who I am authentically. It would become illegal, right? Which is what the Senate passed. And I was so moved. It was an honor to share why I thought it wasn't a good idea, but to hear somebody in their own words advocate for themselves, and the courage that took, the tenacity and all of that. But it takes a toll on all of us when we are working on being something other than we are not. And yet we wear these masks sometimes because we believe at some level that we're not worthy or not capable or not something enough, right? I remember many years ago, I was about 14 years old, so a long time ago. I was at a teen camp, and it was a second or third, teen camp for religious science, and something was shifting in me, and the shift was that people were beginning to see something in me in terms of leadership and capability that I did not see in myself. And it wasn't because they didn't see like, oh, look, he's really good at leading or conversating or listening to people or anything like that, because I was terribly, like deathly shy of people and in doing anything public. Like this would just frighten the heck out of me. I mean, my pre-13-year-old self would be like, no, this is not going to happen, Okay, that's the last thing that I'm going to do, is spend my life in front of people, sharing them my thoughts. How terrifying, right? But something was happening, and there was a shift that was taking place, and others were seeing it, and I wasn't. You ever been in an experience like that? Others see something in you, but you don't see it in yourselves. So they were seeing it in me, and they were sharing it with me, and it was getting to a point, and this had been going on for a year or two or so in my high school and other places, and I was in prayer and meditation, and I had this breakthrough, and I saw myself from outside of myself. And I saw the shell that I was in, and I saw the covering that I was creating, and the false sense of self that I was believing in. And then I saw the light that they saw. And I said, why is it that they see it and I can't see it? And I said, the light is coming from within, and it's coming through the cracks of the shell that I'm putting up, and they see the light. But I can't see the light because I'm on the inside. And I heard in prayer and meditation, I am the light. I am the light. And it was like, oh, wow, I am the light. And I thought, what if their story about me is more real than my story about me? Right? And suddenly, I felt all the stuff fall away. And all I was shining light. And so we came out of the spiritual practice, and I shared it with my group. And we came back to the big group with all of the teens, and all of us shared our experiences, and I shared that. And I had, as I was sharing it, I broke down and began to cry. And because I just felt vulnerable and exposed and all of this stuff. And the teen director, the director of the camp, he began bursting out in laughter, which was not the response I was expecting. I'm having a moment here, and you're cracking up. What's going on, right? But the reason he was this beautiful man was just filled with so much love, and so for him he was like, well, of course you're the light. Of course you're the light. Like, you're just now getting this, And it was just sort of like just brought up laughter for him. But it was in not in a mocking way, but in a loving way. And so he said, all right, let's go outside. And we went outside in this meadow, and it was in Colorado, southern Colorado, and there were like these rolling hills, and you could see mountains in the distance. And he said, I want you to stand in the middle here. He said, we're going to make a big circle around you. And they did. And he said, now, I want you to yell, I am the light, and I want you to make sure everybody in the circle can hear you. So I had to do it several times and move around. So he said, okay, great. So now you see that mountain peak over there? Now, we're now on that mountain peak, and you're still here on this one. So I want you to make sure that they can hear you. We can hear you over there. And I had to stay there until I got loud enough, which created the breakthrough, right? And from that moment forward, I stepped into public service, I stepped into volunteering, I stepped into leadership roles, I stepped into various things. I stepped into my authentic self, right? And I realized how exhausting it was trying to be something I was not, trying to play a diminished self because I didn't believe that I was worthy of love or appreciation or whatever it was. We each have a purpose that lives inside of us. You have a purpose, and here's the thing. That purpose is always bigger than your comfort zone. Always. How do I know it's my purpose? Well, does it scare you? Does it intimidate you? Does it make you a little bit nervous? Right? Then you might be on track. It was like, oh, yeah, I can do that with one hand tied behind my back. Well, then that's just a skill. That's not your purpose. Right? It's just a skill or a talent. Right? Now, you can take a skill and a talent and make it your purpose, but when you do that, you're going to use it in a way that's going to cause you to stretch. It's going to cause you to grow. It's going to cause you to... So I'm constantly in the space of, man, in order for me to really do this, in order for me to keep doing what I'm doing right now, I got to have another mentor. I got to read some other books. Right? Not keep depending on the ones I've been reading, but read something new, learn something new, have somebody else who's in a field that it causes me to stretch and grow. And I'm constantly doing that so that my Consciousness is always expanding beyond my comfort zone. Right? Otherwise, I'd just come here and tell you the same things every week. Right? But you got to keep growing because your purpose is always bigger than your comfort zone. And here's the thing. When we step out in our risk, when we step out in vulnerability, the risk that we face is not the reaction of others. It's the radical acceptance of ourselves. That's the real risk. It looks like we risk, right? It looks like we risk somebody not accepting us, somebody perhaps hating us, somebody perhaps choosing violence, right? And those are real risks in terms of just living in this three-dimensional world. But the real risk is the radical acceptance of ourselves. Are we willing to have a radical acceptance of the divinity that is within you, the purpose and the passion and the light of God that is within you and the way in which it wants to express uniquely as you, right? Because the real you, as Marjorie Williams in The Velveteen Rabbit reminds us, the real you. You remember this part? Saying about I don't remember all the lines now, but it was that, they pet you enough, right? They caress you enough. Eventually, all your fur is rubbed off and your one ear is detached and your eyes are coming out, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? Because the real you cannot be ugly except to people who don't understand you, right? The real you can never be ugly, only to people who don't understand. So what happens if we begin to be courageously vulnerable? What happens when we begin to show up differently because we're allowing ourselves to be seen? What would happen in community? What would happen in the collective? What would not others say, but what would we say about who we are? When we're being faced, what we're being faced with in the authentic expression of the trans community is not so much the what looks like the fear, looks like the acceptance of others, the legislation that's happening and the ways and desires to suppress it and to make it illegal. And somebody recently said, just so you know, I want to presence this so you know how real it is. Somebody had said, not just somebody, but a conservative talk show host, blogger, etc. at CPAC, that the goal needs to be not just this legislation, but to eradicate transgenderism. Which, by the way, let's just pause right there for a second. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Transgender, it's just like, if you're quoting the person, that's fine. But I want to be clear. No such thing. Transgenderism doesn't exist, right? There's the transgender experience, which is as diverse as each and every one of us is. But there's no such thing as this thing that they think that they can eradicate. And I want you to think about how dangerous that is if that becomes a part of a political platform, to say that, what we need to do here is eradicate. It's not a piece of clothing. It's not an external, intangible thing that can be eradicated. It's the authentic expression of the lives of human beings. That's genocide, is what they're talking about. The eradication of a certain group of people. It's been tried before. We don't tend to like that as a collective human species, right? Doesn't work too well. And so what we're facing there is, yes, the real dangers that are being present in so much of this legislation. But what is happening for those individuals who are promoting it, what they're facing is the radical acceptance of themselves. Because when you radically accept yourself, I said this last week, others who show up differently than you don't bother you. Because you are who you are, and they are who they are. And the diversity of God is the diversity of God. And of course, it's going to show up differently than what you previously can conceive or imagine or have been told or have been bred to believe or whatever it is. Of course, it's going to show up bigger than that. Because God's bigger than your thought about it. The universe is bigger than your conception of it. Always. Always. And so finally, let me end on this. This is Rachel Held Evans. She was a young blogger who went from sort of Pentecostal tradition to to, I don't remember now, Episcopalian, that's what it was. Wrote some really wonderful things about her journey. And she said, imagine if every church became a place where everyone is safe, but no one is comfortable. I'm going to come back to that in just a second. Imagine if every church became a place where everyone is safe, but no one is comfortable. Imagine if every church became a place where we told one another the truth. We might just create sanctuary, right? Let me come back to that idea a minute there, where everyone is safe, but no one is comfortable. Oh, I love that. I love that, right? Everyone's safe. Everyone's safe. Everyone's safe to be who they are. Everyone belongs, but no one's comfortable. Why? Because we're growing. Because we're expanding our consciousness, because we're having new thoughts, because we're hearing things and experiencing things that challenge us to investigate. The primary tool within new thought is the investigation of our own thing. So here's the deal. When you hear, oh, well, Reverend David said that thing, and then he showed that thing, and then he did that thing, and, I didn't like it. Maybe you've been at this brunch. Right? It happens. It happens in every church, right? So here's the thing. When that happens, like, it's okay, right? It's like, oh, well, you said the thing and did the thing and and it's not like it used to. I'm a little uncomfortable. You know what your response is? Good. Isn't that great? Now you have something to work on this week. I was just going to keep being my amazing, awesome self. But now that I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable about something, I've got curriculum. I've got something to look at. I've got something to investigate. I've got something to go deep in and say, what is it about that, whatever it is, right? Because everyone's safe, but no one's comfortable because we're always growing. You think I'm comfortable? But I'm safe. Always safe, and together we just might create sanctuary. Today I see the purpose that resides in me, and I have the courage to be vulnerable and let my light shine. Take a deep breath. Today I see the purpose that resides in me. There is a purpose that has been implanted in me by the intelligence of the universe. And it's bigger than my comfort zone. It's bigger than my awareness. It's bigger than my current conception of reality. It's bigger than what I've been trained to think or what I've become comfortable in thinking or what I've accepted about the universe or myself or anybody else. It's bigger than that. And I see it. And I see that it resides in me. And I'm willing to be vulnerable and courageous and let my light shine to move me towards that purpose. As I do that, I give everyone else permission to do the same. I create a world that works for everyone because there's more light shining, there's more love shining, there's more truth and vulnerability shining, there's more falseness falling away, and more beauty replacing it. Take a deep breath. Let's repeat together. Today, I see the purpose that resides in me, and I have the courage to be vulnerable and let my light shine. One more time. Today, I see the purpose that resides in me, and I have the courage to be vulnerable and let my light shine. One more time. Today, I see the purpose that resides in me, and I have the courage to be vulnerable and let my light shine. And so it is. And so we let it be, and so we are. Peace and blessings. Thank you.
figure made of clay. I think about the things I've lost, the things I gave away. And when I'm in a certain mood, I search the halls and look. One day I found these magic words inside a magic book. Throw it away. Throw it away. Give your life. Give your love each and every day. Keep your hands wide open. Let the sun shine through. 'Cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. There is a hand that rocks the cradle, and a hand to help you stand, with a gentle kind of motion that moves across the land. And the hands unclenched and open, gifts of light and love it brings. Keep your heart wide open if you need anything. Throw it away. Throw it away. Give your life and give your love each and every day. Keep your hand wide open. Let the sun shine through. 'Cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. You can never lose a thing if it belongs to you.
Terry Burrell. So beautiful.
I don't know about you all, but wow, that was magnificent. Thank you, Terry Burrell, for both of those selections. And I was thinking about what Reverend David said earlier, and I hope that this place keeps you safe and is a sanctuary for you, because that's exactly what it is for me. I want to go ahead and acknowledge any first-time visitors at this time. If this is your first time at SLCA, we invite you to stand and make yourself known. A member of our welcome team will bring you a gift for you, and we're going to ask you to just join a welcome ambassador for fellowship in the lobby following service. Looks like there's none for today, so okay. Thank you for choosing Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta as part of your celebration today. As we enter our time of grateful giving, we want to thank each of you that faithfully gives to SLCA. It is because of your contributions each week that spreads the message of oneness. You can conveniently text your gift to 404-800-9467. You may also give with a credit card on our website, or you can use our digital program. That is the QR code displayed on the screen that's right behind me. If you wish to give by cash or check, a member of our welcome team will be coming through the aisle shortly to receive everyone's contributions. All right. Take out your pledge cards or your gift and place that on your heart. And please join me as we say our grateful giving affirmation. I live in a universe of abundance as I freely and joyfully give. I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me, multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
And so it is. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Yeah, I do. This is how I start the day, knowing good is on the way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Right on.
Hello, all of you real rabbits. My name is Mally Lapete, and my pronouns are she and her, and I gladly serve on the creative arts team here at SLCA. Let me turn to these announcements. Guys, announcements. We are so happy that you chose to begin your day with SLCA. We have so many great opportunities to connect, grow, serve, give at our center. For more information about today's announcements and other opportunities, please join us. Please scan the QR code on the back of the seat in front of you or the one shown on your monitor. You may also see them in our lobby. We would like to say thank you to our loyal pledgers and each of you that faithfully gives to SLCA. Have you checked out our education platform lately? Head on over to newthoughtheducation.com for the latest Science of Mind opportunities to grow. New classes are beginning this month. Are you looking for an opportunity to serve at SLCA? Check with one of our team members after service to explore the perfect opportunity to serve. Waiting for you. Oh, now I'd like to welcome to the stage CJ. Where's CJ? There he is.
Well, 2 weeks in a row, unbelievable. I must be getting famous myself to be able to be invited back up here. So, yes, I'm not quite in the attire that I was last week, but I just wanted to show everybody that even though it's raining, you can still accessorize. Today is the day. Dress up any raincoat that you have, anything will do, galoshes, couture, it's all in this season. So I also wanted to present Mally this special Cecil B. DeMille Award for Achievement in Announcing. So it's just, take a bow. So, yes, today is the day. The Oscars are tonight, so please come out if you can. It's tonight at 7, and I promise it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be DJing, and there's going to be prizes for Best Red Carpet Walk, for Best Dress, and the trivia winner. So please come out at 7, and we'll be having a great party. So thank you all so much.
Yeah. I'd like to thank the Academy for the next 20 minutes. So get comfortable. Thank you. Connect with Baji Daniels this Wednesday evening, March 15th at 6:30 Eastern on Zoom for our Science Mind gathering. Baji is deeply rooted in this teaching and brings a wealth of knowledge on how to apply our teaching to your daily living. Plan now to join us for an afternoon service next Sunday, March 19th. No, is it March 19th? Wow, time is flying. March 19th is next Sunday, and we'll be at the UUCA at 3 p.m. There will be no morning service here. They're located at 2650 North Druid Hills Road, down the street just a little bit. We will not have our morning service. Dr. Reverend David will continue his series on cultivating authenticity, and Penelope Williams and Cheryl Chandler have planned a beautiful afternoon of music. Join us after service in the social hall for food and fellowship. Learn how to respond from a foundation of faith rather than fear-based reaction with the special workshop offered on Sunday, March 26th from 12:30 to 2:30 with our Reverend Susan Zoller. She's a powerful woman. We love you, Susan Zoller. Will all practitioners please make yourself known in person and in the online chat now to be recognized? Thank you. We recognize, we welcome each of you in need of prayer to remain in the room or to reach out to the practitioner online for one-on-one prayer with a licensed practitioner. In-person practitioners will be sitting in chairs on both sides of the sanctuary after the service today. Thank you for joining us this morning. You belong.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this morning. Why don't we close with Let There Be Peace on Earth. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God, our Creator. Family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Amen. And so it is. Have a great weekend. See you tonight, everybody, 7 o'clock Eastern.